I'll try to take less than 10 minutes. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard the summary, a very summarized version of the fascinating study that Dr. Zaidan Mary Booth has conducted. And I must say, by the way, I read it during my Eid al-Adha holidays, and I have read page to pages. I recommend it to all of you. Another author who keeps writing on the subject, whom I would not call a friend, but I've known him and I've been very close to him, is Dr. Akbar S. Ahmed. But the study conducted by Dr. Mary Booth surpasses all other authors that I have read on the subject. I strongly recommend, and thank you, Dr. Mary Booth, for this excellent effort, and thank you, Geneva Center, for sponsoring the study. Ladies and gentlemen, to be brief, let me just make it clear. We are here from different nationalities. We are here from different religious backgrounds. This is a topic that could be somewhat sensitive as well. But let's be clear, we are not getting into any blame game. We are just trying to talk about a subject which is a reality, and that's a reality that the summary presented by Dr. Mary Booth clearly states and makes it very clear. Blame game is not the subject, and I think we'll take it in that spirit. We are talking about the fact that Europe has millions of human beings who happen to be of a different faith. The different faith is Islam, and it is because of that difference that there are problems. It is that difference which has led to some tension. And the idea basically that we have in front of before us, as Ambassador Al-Jaziri very rightly said, is to to try to help in restoration of the societal harmony. There probably were problems historically, but I think they are now at a point which deserve very serious attention and addressing. Uh, I think most of us here would agree that anything that is done to the Muslims in the West, let me put it this way, or any reference in a negative sense to the religion that the Muslims follow, is not a local issue any longer. It is, thanks to globalization, it has repercussions around the world, and particularly in the Muslim majority countries. Without going into details, I'm sure you understand, you know the history, and there are. What I'm saying is this is no more a local or European problem any longer. It is an international problem, and we have to look at it in that context. Unfortunately, there are some influential voices that Dr. Al-Qasim referred to, and I'll come back to that as well, who are trying to exploit the situation. But for us, as the workers and the voices in the area of human rights promotion and protection, our job is to facilitate promotion of harmony and peace and stability in the societies where all human beings live, and particularly the subject of today, of course, is the Muslims who live in Europe. The question, of course, before us would be then how do we go about it? I'm skipping the details because I think they've been covered by the previous speakers. Number one, it was here in this building about 5 years ago that the Human Rights Council came up with a beautiful, a very comprehensive document called Resolution 1618. I must say, people that I talked to since I had represented the OIC at the United Nations in New York, people that I had talked to, the reviews that I heard, and the comments and the expectations and the hopes that people from different faiths had after the consensus adoption of 1618, there was a hope for a very, very bright future. Then there is the Istanbul process, which is a follow-up mechanism, and it has been meeting. I think they have already had 5 meetings at least. What we have in the document is a very comprehensive solution at all levels, at local levels, at state levels, at international level. All that is needed is the implementation of the document. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the status of the implementation. It is unfortunately not encouraging at all, and we would request all concerned, all stakeholders to take it more seriously. It deserves very genuine and serious implementations. The other issue that I would like to talk about is dialogue. That's a subject that the Geneva Center is an expert with, thanks to Dr. Al-Qasim and also to Ambassador Jaziri and all concerned. Uh, this is an important tool in the hands of all of us, those who care, those who are interested in solutions. There has to be a dialogue to understand each other, to promote mutual understanding, to promote, to remove misunderstanding, and to build bridges. I think one of the reasons why the societies have these tensions is the absence of or lack of understanding of each other's point of view. That's something that we in the OIC's Human Rights Commission, we try to do it. We are very happy that the Geneva Center has been doing it very successfully. And for us in the OIC's Human Rights Commission, we stand ready to work with all concerned to promote that dialogue for social harmony. The objective, I repeat, is to build bridges and to remove any misunderstanding. The third point that I want to make is terrorism and religions, and here I would wish to recall with gratitude what Dr. Al-Qasim has said in the beginning. Terrorism has no religion. Terrorists have no religion. And terrorism, let me be very straightforward, is not a new phenomenon. History shows in all parts of the world in general and in the West in particular that there were various extremist groups who did it for political reasons. Now, those who do it claim to be the followers of our beloved pristine religion, Islam. But the fact that a heinous crime has been committed by someone who claims to be a follower of a religion doesn't make it in any way. This should not be conflated with Islam. Just to give you two examples. In the holy month of Ramadan, and we all know how Ramadan, how important and sacred it is for Muslims, on the very last day, the next day is the Eid al-Fitr. On the very last day of this holiest of the months, in one of the holiest places for Muslims, in the Prophet's mosque, just before the end of Ramadan, there is a suicide attack on the holiest places. Just a day before I was leaving Pakistan, I come from Pakistan, a suicide bomber attacks the worshippers during the holy occasion of Friday prayers. This has nothing to do if they were Muslims, and if terrorism had anything to do with Islam, this would not be happening. This is just example. This is not to say that there is not a problem. It is a problem. We have to look at it because, and we have to address it because one way or the other, the claim that these perpetrators of these heinous crimes do claim that they are from the Muslim religion. But I think for us to be very clear, we should see the problem of terrorism in its correct perspective. Terrorism is terrorism, and no religion whatsoever, not Islam at least, we can say for sure. The fourth point, and I have one more. The fourth point is the politics. We have been witness to phenomena in the West, in Europe, I would say, where some politicians, some political parties exploited the difficulties. Some of the speakers refer to the economic and other kind of difficulties that a society, a state goes through, and the feeling of xenophobia and Islamophobia in order to promote their own narrow political interests. I would not name the countries, but I think we all know it was happening in Europe so far. Very unfortunately, it is now, we see it in the presidential elections in the United States. That is a complex issue. a complex issue in the sense that, on the one hand, it is the free will of the electorate to vote for whosoever they want to. But at the same time, the problem is that a success of this kind of a phenomena, political parties and political leaders exploiting xenophobia and Islamophobia and then achieving success on that basis can be very dangerous. I would leave it at that. This is something that we need to address among in the human rights community and also at the level of this building in the Human Rights Council. The last point that I want to make is about the Muslims in Europe. We, particularly the Human Rights Commission of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, we is the Human Rights Commission, and also our mother organization, the OIC, stands with them. We will continue to work for the promotion and protection of their human rights. It's a part of the charter of the OIC. It is a part of the mandate of our commission. They should not in any way be either blamed for the unfortunate incidents that keep happening, nor should they be discriminated against. At the same time, we also urge the Muslims who live in Europe to do their best to prove that they are exemplary and peaceful and bridge builders in the society. They have rights, but they also have responsibilities, and we would urge them to live up to the responsibilities as well. With this, I would like to stop here and just to save some time, and I would be glad to answer any question that comes my way. Very kind. Thank you very much.